Welcome there, Scouters from the Great Oregon Trail Council and all the ships at sea. Appreciate you tonight on tonight's the third Tuesday for our Fireside Chat. We decided that was the appropriate place to hold the thing. We're glad to have you aboard. Tonight with us, our special guest is Brandie Gillespie, who is the appointed district commissioner for the mighty Greenwood district. I always call it Greatwood, and that's not quite right, but that's okay. But before we get into Brandie's conversation, she's also the district chair, correction. She is right now the troop committee chair for the mighty Troop 22, a unit that I hold in high esteem. I've known the folks in Troop 22 for a lot longer than I care to even think about. It's just incredible. Robert Perrier and I go way, way back from a scouting standpoint. But before we get into Brandie's capabilities and what she has done with Troop 22 from the chair standpoint, and specifically about Recharter capabilities, I think Scott Empikoven, our scout executive, has some very fine words to share with us. So Scott, if you don't mind, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Randy. Start off by just properties. Do want to let everybody know that we are keeping our properties still closed until the end of the year. We do have a couple of groups. Actually, we've got a group of individuals going out to do some work. They can do so and still stay within the state guidelines. Out at Camp Baker this weekend, do a couple projects to help us continue moving forward with all the improvements we've got there. And we also have Camp Mooney we've got a work party out there this weekend as well. So continuing to work on properties, and just a big shout out to Tony Renicky, who secured a $100,000 gift recently to help us with not only with the shower house monies for the shower house, complete that project, our health lodge. So you will see it within, as fast as we can get this done, you'll see a new shower house out at Baker soon, and you'll see a new health lodge as well coming right behind it. I've been working on a couple of different grants, one with the NRA that I should be turning in later this week. Those of you that don't know, we did have last winter, we had a tree come down and destroy our rifle range. So we are currently in the process of trying to raise money to build a new rifle range. Initially, our thoughts were that that was going to be a fairly small, price tag wise, fairly small project, but it's close to 100 to secure the funding for that. We've got three different grants that I'm submitting. One's already submitted and NRI should be this week, and then I've got one other that I'm trying to submit to hopefully fully fund that project, and that should be submitted by next week. So a lot of things continue to happen with the properties, and really look forward to what those are going to look like, 2-3 years down the road, all of our properties. Do want to mention that the office is open. We actually have opened it because retail stores can be open, and so the store is open. The front door is open. We keep the right side actually open. So if you have business that you need to take care of, you want to do that last minute Christmas shopping at the Scout store. Realize with retail stores, you got to operate at like 20% capacity. So, keep it to just 4 in that store at a time. We figured 20% capacity. So 20% of that is what, 4? So no more than 4. So, make sure that you kind of spread things out. You don't all rush in at the same time. But we do have the store open, and I got to do some Christmas shopping for some other people, but first I got to do some Christmas shopping for myself. So I'm going to be in the store. And now is the time to do it because the store will be closed between Christmas and New Year's for inventory. We'll be working on inventory during that week. Let me see. Amazon Smile. Do want to remind everybody, if they're doing shopping right now, that if you go on Amazon Smile, you can make sure that some monies, it's a small percentage, but some percentage does go to your. Is I know what mine is. Happens to be Oregon Trail Council Boy Scouts of America. So trying to make sure that as I do some Christmas shopping on Amazon, I try to help benefit the council as well. Other than that, I think the only other thing I have to say is thank you, Eugene, for being on here. Eugene, if it's okay for me to say, has some health issues that he's kind of working through right now. So just want to remind everybody to keep Eugene in your hearts, in your thoughts, and in your prayers. And we hope he can get through this, and wish him the best of luck. So other than that, this is the last time I will see everybody before the holidays. So just want to say happy holidays and enjoy. So I think that's it, Randy. And you didn't even have to wave your hat. There you go.
Not that I would ever do such a thing. Heck of a deal. Yeah. Now, when you're talking about the, Scout Shop open in capacity and Amazon and that sort of thing, I'm thinking that, you probably need some more knee socks, so I'll go visit Ben and have Ben sell me some knee socks just for you.
I don't know. I like these.
Like those anklets, do you?
I'm surprised, I'm old enough. I'm surprised I could get my leg that high in the air. So
because you're sitting down.
Yeah, no kidding. You're killing me. Well, I appreciate all the folks signing on tonight, and I hope that you enjoy this. We do, and tell others, because this is one of the places to get current events news right here. A few minutes ago, is Brandie Gillespie has agreed to step up to become the district commissioner in the Greenwood district, and right now she is serving as the committee chair for Troop 22. Troop 22 does well. A lot of that is because of the business aspects that Brandie is responsible for. Brandie, can you tell us what it is you do about Troop 22 that allows the business of scouting to go forward as smoothly as it does? Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Well, first of all, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. So from my point of view, whether it be good, bad, indifferent, whatever, when I joined the troop, it was pretty much a mess. And I come from the background of working for doctors' offices where they like everything in tip-top order. So thankfully for me, I was given the freedom to step in as committee chair, whatever I like, however it fits for me. So what we started doing was in August of every year, the committee meets and we have a calendar that we plan for the whole entire year. So we put all of our, PLC, ASM, your committee meetings, Monday meetings, because that happens to be the night that we meet. We choose our monthly camp dates. I mean, we go through and we choose everything. And then from there, the Scoutmaster and the ASMs would take it to PLC, and then they would fine tune it on like where they wanted to camp and whatnot. So for us having a calendar, everybody knew up front the dates. You kind of got to go with the flow. Sometimes those dates would change, but having dates was helpful for everybody because it's really hard to do anything if you're not going to set a date. And then we start our reservations for camping. We start those out of I have a calendar I like old school paper calendar. Everything's color coordinated. So I've got like my due dates. So I'll send emails, check in with people. Everybody knows that I got to have my communication real well. So everybody just knows that if they communicate with me, I'll do what needs to be done behind the scenes and keep the flow running. Thankfully, everybody in our group communicates really well. So that helps. But just basically having deadline dates, staying on top of everything. I'm really good at multitasking, so that helps. I'm a night owl, so I can stay up late at night working on things, but that calendar is really the core thing that helps, and having it so far in advance rather than doing a calendar like a month or two at a time. Are you still with me?
Indeed.
Okay.
Are you still there?
It was so quiet. I didn't know if I lost you guys. So yeah, basically just, everybody communicating, staying organized, staying on top of everything. I don't miss any meetings. I go to everything. Well, with the exception of, PLC and ASM meetings, I don't go to that, but I do have them, the scribe for the PLC will take minutes and email those to me. And then at ASM, there's a designated leader who will take minutes, email those to me. I'll print those out with our agenda for committee meetings. So we go over all of that along with the calendar, the budget. We do that on a monthly basis. So that helps us stay on top of things. So really it's just calendar and communication and staying on top of your deadlines, and that every group is going to be different on what works for them. This has worked for us. And I think it also helps that I work the same and I've been doing it for 10 years. So everybody's familiar with me and knows what to expect and how I like things. And, after working with people for a while, you get to know how they work. And so I know what, some people I'll email, some people I'll text. And while that can get annoying at times, if that's the quickest way to get information, for me, it's just easiest to do that and get information out to people. So it to me, it's simple just because that's how we operate.
What do you do that you consider best practice? Anything in particular?
For me personally?
Well, in your role as the committee chair, yeah.
I'd have to say multitasking, because it's not just committee chair, so responsibility as secretary, also as treasurer, and then there's nights where, I'll have to step in and help the leaders. I'm behind the scenes. Sometimes I'm doing, fundraising, so I can dabble in all of it and help wherever needed.
Do you do those things yourself, or how does that work? You mentioned fundraising, secretary, treasurer, and all that kind of stuff.
It's varied over the years because, like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years. So it depends on who we have for help. Sometimes we've had people who just totally drop the ball and I have to pick up the pieces and do it. Other times, I've got a good relationship with people to where you can count on them and we've had them do it. Doing this 10 years, obviously we've had parents, come through the program and, their scouts have either eagled out or, whatnot. So they're no longer here. So it really depends on the.
But you try to put people in place to do those various functional things for you?
Yeah. Right now, I'm really trying to step back on some things, especially now that I've taken on this new role. And it's quite difficult because the majority of the people we have no longer have. So like, for instance, we have 7 adults, whether they're parents or leaders, that are helping with the troop, and they no longer have a youth in the troop. And then the people that do have scouts in the troop is only 3 of them. And 2 of them are married. So essentially we only have 2 scout families that are helping in the troop. And the rest of us are still here because we want to be, and also because there's the lack of help. So it's kind of a mix of everything.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate hearing that you've got other people to help you out. One of the things that you do exceedingly well is the Recharter. What have you done? How did you break the code so that you're leading the council in the ability to turn in your recharter and put that piece of business behind you?
So when I first signed up as committee chair, and I'm sure Rob can attest to this, when I used to go to the council office, it was like, no, not Troop 22, because our paperwork was horrible. Nothing was turned in on time. And me, I've got OCD that drove me crazy. And I was bound and determined to turn that around. And it took a while to gain trust at the council office and with other people. And then they knew, okay, if Brandie says she's going to do something, she's going to do it. So it started to work really well. And I like to keep myself busy. And so I was also on the PTO at my son's school. And I saw how they started doing things there. And dates, calendars, whatnot. Like you get a monthly bill in the mail. If you don't have a due date on your monthly bill, you're probably not going to pay it. You'll just keep pushing it off. So with the school, they have registration packets. And in order to get your child, whether it be sports, school, whatever, you have a deadline date and you have to have that registration packet filled out. So I kind of started thinking about that and thought, well, why can't we do that on the troop? We have certain forms. You have your youth protection, your health forms. You know, we've got like a information form for each scout that's got like emergency contacts, parent information. We've got a transportation form. So I thought, why don't we just have all that and we do it once a year and it has a deadline date. So I put all those forms together. So for us in September, each scout gets a registration packet. It's got all their forms that needs to be filled out. It's got our yearly fee on there, and then it has a deadline to be turned in on time. So I made our I made our due date to where I could get everything turned into us. I could do what I needed to do and have Recharter turned in on time. So at the beginning of October, again, the packets go home with the youth in September. Beginning of October, those packets are due back to us, plus their first payment for their scout fee for that following year. It's got a deadline date on there. And while it might sound bad to some people, it's worked with our troop because parents don't like to fill out more paperwork than what they have to. So we've just told them, if this paperwork's not back on time, your scout won't be re-registered. You know, they'll still be active till December 31st, but at that point they'd be drop off their registration and then you'd have to refill out paperwork and recharter them. And like I said, they don't want to fill out more paperwork. And so that's always worked for us. Packet, fill it out, get it back to us. I send reminders, but for the most part, there's no issues. Everybody turns it in. I've got plenty of time to put it all together and recharter.
Well, that sounds like best practices to me. That's among the ways to get it done. I would also reflect that you stole a good idea from the PTO, right?
Well, I mean, I kind of tweaked it. I'm a scout, so I don't steal.
Yeah. I got it. When you boil it all down, right?
Yeah.
So how about
Copy and improve.
Yeah.
What?
Copy and improve.
There you go.
Got it. Yeah. So what about the rest of you? Any other best practices from a recharter standpoint that we can share? This is that time of year.
I would like to just ask Brandie, all told, and maybe preparation time and everything, how much time do you think it takes you on rechartering?
From beginning to end?
Well, I mean,
well,
how many hours do you put into it over that period of time to get everything rechartered, the unit rechartered?
Honestly, because I started this, I'd want to say probably about 6 years ago, and we haven't changed our forms much. So it's just a matter of I go into the computer system, print the forms, put the packet together, hand it out to them. They give it back to us. And then logging into the Recharter system, I'm going to say maybe tops a couple hours, and that's including meeting with the significant people to get their signatures signed off.
Okay. So it can be done in a couple hours in October as opposed to January or December 31st, you know,
Yeah.
taking a couple hours then,
Yeah.
right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, you do have to be organized and have everything in order, but that's where my expertise is. I like everything in order. OCD, everything. So I keep our records for the troop. We've got a binder. I keep them organized throughout the whole year. So as long as you stay on top of that, there's not so much to catch up on last minute when you're trying to work
And
it
it's
all
got to be
out.
nice for you guys, because then when you roll into the holiday season, you've got it all done and taken care of already, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, now you can go on to bigger and better things, right? Like doing the mistletoe and the holly and that sort of thing. Eggnog.
Or going shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Rush, did you have something?
Well, I just wanted to ask Brandie. I thought I heard, and I'm curious as to whether you break the cost of Recharter up and take multiple payments.
So what our troop started doing quite a few years ago is we just have a yearly fee that it costs each scout to be in our troop. And we came up with that amount by looking at what we spent throughout the course of a whole entire year. And that's what each scout's fee is based on. So in September, so right now our fee is currently $400 to be in our troop. This technically would have been the year that we would have raised it, but because of COVID, we didn't feel that that was the right time, so we didn't. So in September, their first $200 payment is due, and that's for the following year. So September we just had, they paid $200 towards their 2021 balance. And then in February, they'll pay the difference minus any monies that they've earned from fundraising. So we have, because we've participated in football parking or whatever fundraising we've been doing. So most of the scouts have that amount offset.
Yeah, and if I can interject, lots of years ago, we did the same thing in that other troop down the road from Troop 22, and as a consequence, parents didn't even know the recharter was occurring because the money was already taken care of. And it was literally a matter of filling out a couple of forms and then beat feet to the office to see Nadine and Nancy at the time and turning in the paperwork. So it works very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And you remove the sticking point of the money. And that's probably the biggest hurdle right there to overcome is the dollar side of this thing. It's very, very interesting. Questions for Brandie. She's got some good ideas there.
That this represents the entirety of the money that the family spends for the entire year. So nobody else over the course of the year has to run people down to pay expenses and.
Correct. Yes.
Wow.
Because back when I was doing the treasurer part of it, it was very frustrating to track people down every week or every month. And then you have some parents who they know what you're coming for, so they turn around and run. So when we actually implemented this, we had a huge parent meeting that we required everybody to come to. And we said, we think it'll be easier for everybody if we just have this yearly fee. Either you pay or your scout earns it in fundraising, and then you're done for the year. We're never going to ask you for any money. I mean, summer camp is in addition to that, and they're aware of that, but they can also earn, fundraising money towards that. Easier on us at a troop level for the committee. And then, like I said, the parents weren't having to last minute because they forgot to pay the week before, and it streamlined everything so much better.
So when you're thinking about the costs of, say, a camping trip and the food that you're going to purchase for that, you just assume that every member of the troop is going to participate. So it's going to be spread over that number of people.
Absolutely.
Correct. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we did the same thing. We knew what it was going to cost for a year. We had the campouts programmed out. We knew about what fuel and food costs were going to be. We knew what entry fees were going to be because we, like Brandie, we did the calendar and we extended that out, and we knew about 18 months out where we were going to go, and that was the dollars that were tied in. And as a consequence, nobody. And if Johnny wanted to go camping, he went camping. If he didn't want to go camping, that's up to mom and dad.
Mhm.
It sure took a lot of pressure off. But we made sure that we had fundraisers in place for all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to jump on your bandwagon there, Brandie, but yeah, best practice.
No, yeah, what you said is absolutely true.
Yeah, Milt.
I want to look at it from the other end. And that is when the boys need their money for the patrol to go buy their food, it's there. The troop gives it to them. They know
Yep.
what they have and they can run with it. It's not like depending on everybody to show up at the camp out with their money. No, it's ahead of time.
Yes.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Milt, you hit it dead on. Absolutely. Yeah, pretty good. Well, folks, we got about another 5 minutes before we need to move. Jeremy Colbert and some others over in the roundtable planning side. What else would we like to hear from Brandie, or just from Scott, or anybody else on here? Share Christmas wishes and that sort of thing.
Well, Randy, I'd like to know from Brandie's perspective what the district or the council can do to provide support for you beyond what you're getting now.
For the troop or for my new position?
For your troop.
You know, I'm not sure, to be honest. Sandy and I had kind of talked about that, and she mentioned maybe coming and having a parent meeting and, you know, trying to stress the importance of more parents wanting, you know, needing to help out. And I think that's great. The main problem that we have, which I'm sure other units have, is we're just look at it as babysitting. So there's a lot of parents we don't see. And unfortunately, even for Court of Honors, we have some parents who don't show up to see their scouts get their awards. So, you know, you've got to see those parents in person to try and talk to them and recruit them. It's too difficult to do over the phone. I mean, you can try, but you're going to make more of an impact if you see them in person. So that's the biggest struggle that we have. And, you know, that's why a lot of us leaders are still around, even though our youth is no longer in the troop, because we love the scouting program and we want to help. And so we're still there. And so we make it work, you know, but it would be nice for more parents to step up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Andy, welcome to the Commissioner Corps. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
I'm the Timothy guy up north. So yeah, nice to
Meet you as well.
Phil, you will always be burnt woods to me. It's just sorry. I know about Chintimity. Thank you very much.
You know,
Yeah, somebody was calling it the Shim Shim Cherie the other day. All kinds of-
you know,
all kinds of
I'm trying
words.
to think who else, Brandie. I was going to ask you about the difficulty of the job itself as committee chairman. And you know, Jeremy's committee chairman, Anita's been committee. There's other people that have been a committee chairman, but I imagine so much of that depends on the year and the parental involvement that you get, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it varies year to year. Sometimes it even varies, you know, like every 6 months, depending on, you know, what's happening. And, you know, people have, you know, jobs in their personal life. So some months, some people are more committed than others. And, you know, I've been doing it for 10 years. So I just go with the flow, and it is what it is. And I pick up the pieces where need be. And they don't need to know all the political drama part of it. So if someone drops the ball, I make it happen so the scouts don't know.
Thanks,
Are
Laura.
you wood badge trained then, Randy?
No, I'm not.
Do you think that's something that would help other committee chairs that don't have OCD?
The answer to that, Jim, is yes.
Yeah.
Resoundingly,
Yeah.
yes. What a loaded question. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Oh.
Randy,
Too bad Carrie's not on here. She knows when the next wood
Yeah.
badge class is. That's okay. Very good.
Randy?
Very good. Any other comments for the good of the order? We're at the
Rush.
top of the hour now.
just a quick question, Randy. Do you know if district commissioner there'll be meetings for unit commissioners this month with everything going on and the pandemic issues, or whether unit commissioner meetings are going to restart in January. I just hadn't heard of a unit that we had a meeting for unit commissioners scheduled for December for Greenwood. So I just wonder what was happening.
If I can just jump in, I'll cover that with Brandie. She's really, really new at this point. And let me just give her a little more time here. But is there a particular time rush that would work for you?
A particular day and time?
Yeah, a particular day that would work.
Well, I think we all have our other meetings. Certainly mine's on Wednesdays. It's held on Tuesdays or Thursdays evenings. My only request would be that it not be at the same time that another Zoom Scout meeting is going on.
Yeah, good point. So Brandie and I will chat about that, and then we'll circle back to you and Claudette and see if we can't find a happy medium here, if you don't mind. Okay.
Sure.
So let's
just wanted to raise it briefly since I hadn't heard.
Good point.
Thank you.
Good point. She's doing well. Okay. If you will, folks, we need to move. Yeah, you're 3 to 5 minutes, Scott.
No, I know, just real quick. I just wanted to let everybody know that on the website, we do have the most current information from the state. I think it's right up top as you go onto the homepage. And I heard back, I think at Roundtable, we were talking about it, and we considered as youth programs. The email that I got back from the actually county health department. So that is posted, and just have to look and see the information on there. And then the other thing I want to do is I got to hear this. I want to say hello to Katrina and just ask you real quickly, what was the temperature where you are today? I got to hear this because I'm jealous.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Scott, thank you very much. Thank you for making me feel welcome. It was 70-ish in the mid-afternoon, but as you know, in the desert, once the sun goes down, boy, it's just as cold. It's like Sun River. It's hot in the day, but once the sun goes down, it's cold. So right now, it'll hit freezing tonight.
At some point, just walk down the street and tell our former council president and his wife hello for me.
Yes. So he put it. So I will make this fast because I don't want to bore the rest of you. But to make this really fast, he put on Nextdoor a Go Ducks comment, and so I replied right back. Okay, I'm from Eugene, and I believe we also have Scott and Tony Renicky in common. And so I have not met him face to face, but I have communicated with him.
Okay.
Go Ducks.
I had forgotten you were living down south, so welcome aboard. It's
Thank you.
Good to see you again. It's been a while.
At least it's a dry cold tonight, though.
Yeah, think about Meat Locker. Yeah. Heck of a deal. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to stay aboard and continue the chat. I need to scoot. We'll.
Good night.
Thank you all. Great numbers tonight.